back to Arbitrary Talk TV. This is still on the topic of total trust in God. And the last video, I actually mentioned that there are going to be live interviews with family and friends, men and women of God, share their experiences of what they have trusted God about and what God has done and how God did it. And again, to also let us know what they were doing, why they were trusting in God. Because if you're still trusting in God, there will be some temptations in between that probably you might want to even relent. But what were they also doing at that point in time when they were almost giving up? So
I have Pastor Alexander Kolade Oni on our platform today. He is a pastor and he's also a doctor.
And he's here to share his experience about what he trusted God about at a point in time and what he was doing while he was still trusting in God about it, and how God actually eventually did it. So welcome to our platform today, Daddy.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you here today. All right, so I wouldn't want to take so much of your time because I know you are very busy. I just want to ask you a few questions. It's going to be an interactive section with both of us. So I would ask you questions, and I would just want you to enlighten us about what you did at the point in time where you were trusting God and what you actually trusted God about. So let me just go straight to the question. So first, this question is going to be more like a rhetoric question, and that is going to be about, have you ever trusted God about something before?
Oh, sure.
I know. Sure. So I know it's going to be a rhetoric question because everybody will say yes, because at the point in time we all have trusted in God about something, one thing or another. So the second question will now be, what have you actually trusted God about? Is it, we have different things. I don't want to give you options, but I know you know what you have trusted God about before now.
Yes, I have trusted God for many things, but one is very pivotal in my life.
Wow.
That I have trusted God for, and God delivered.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yes, and this was about my ordination as a pastor.
Wow.
I have been very active in the church.
Okay.
In my local church, my church there was Gospel Mission Assembly. That later become Liberty Evangelical Church.
Okay.
I have been very active in the church. I started from being a choir member, being an assistant choir member, youth leader, assistant youth leader then, and then I was an interpreter. Then I was looking forward to a day when I will be ordained as a pastor.
Wow.
Being ordained and seeking for the position of being ordained as a pastor is not a position you lobby for. Because I personally believe that it's a spiritual calling.
That's right.
If God has not called you to be a pastor and you lobby to be a pastor, it's going to fail. So I was praying while I was waiting. I was praying and I was walking in various departments where I was functioning in the church. I was giving God what I thought was my best.
Exactly.
Trying not to disappoint God. I know my activities cannot bribe God.
Exactly.
Because God sees the inside of you, not your outward show that move God to do things. God doesn't do things on impulse.
No.
Okay? God has purpose, has reason for doing anything. So I was waiting and I was praying. While I was waiting, I saw other people who I thought maybe we were like at the same level spiritually. They were being ordained, I was not ordained. I didn't take any offense in that. I was just saying my time will come.
Yeah.
And I was, I was not actually saying, God, please let them make me a pastor. No, I wasn't praying that. I was looking forward to it. It was not a prayer point. I was looking forward to it. I knew if I work very well for God and I'm faithful, if God decided how to, call me to be a pastor, so be it. Yeah. The ultimate thing is for me to make heaven. Exactly. So I was looking forward to it, and I was praying and I was working any area they asked me to serve. I served conscientiously, with my whole heart, devotedly, and loyally. And it came to that point where I know God saw me. I was waiting, and God probably said that I can call him. So in the year 2000, I was eventually ordained as a pastor in Philadelphia, local church, Liberty Evangelical Church in Philadelphia. I was ordained as a pastor. It was a day that brought ultimate joy to my heart, because I didn't think I deserved it, or that I would eventually ever be called as a pastor. The kind of life I lived when I was in high school, when I was in the college, especially when I was in high school, my early years in the college, I wasn't, like typical, young guy. Yeah, that, I was just trying to be like every other friend, trying to live my life at that time.
Right.
Because Brother Paul said when I was a child, I talked like a child, I spoke like a child, but when I grew up, I threw away childish ideas.
Exactly.
So, but thank God, because God was not looking and judging me on the basis of the kind of life I lived in the past.
Right.
God still called me, and I was ordained, trying to, live up to that title and that calling, that I've been called. So I thank God for that. And I made a prayer to God that now that I'm a pastor, I want to perform more than I performed before I was a pastor. I don't want to think that I did and I worked very hard to be pastor and then relax. And after being called as a pastor.
Okay, thank you so much, Daddy, for sharing that. I really am blessed with what you said, because waiting on God for Him to do something, and then trusting Him. You have done a lot of things. You've worked, because when you're in the vineyard of God, you keep working. You work in several places, even choir. I was even surprised when you mentioned for choir, because I know you never mentioned it before. So yeah, you have served in different places within the church, which of course would show you to show you to God that you are even not sitting. You are not just idle. You are making sure you're working for Him. You are making sure you're not, you're not just going to church and then going back home, and not doing anything in the church. I'm really blessed by that, and the fact that you eventually I think God calls me. Yes, if God calls you, why would you say no? You will just go ahead, because He's the one that knows why He called you, and He knows what He wants to bring out of it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, but going to the third question, I know I know there are a lot of things would have happened in between. You just cut everything off. But I just wanted you to share a little bit about what happened in between. Just like while you're waiting, you wanted God to do this for you. You wanted to really serve, and not just only serve, but serve as a servant of God. But you were in between doing something. You were serving in different departments in the church. So along the line, there would have been some time that probably you were almost relenting on seeing how God can do it, or seeing what you're trusting God about, being a true servant of God, serving Him fully, not just like in different departments, but serving Him as a pastor. What actually happened in between when you were still waiting on Him to actually fulfill that calling, and to make sure that calling comes to pass? What were you doing in between at that time?
Yes, like I said before, I was serving and waiting, walking. There were challenges.
Right.
There were challenges, but I never lost focus of what I actually love so much, to one day be ordained as a pastor. Never lost that focus, and I knew it. It was like a thing between me and my God.
Yes.
Because if if I fail in between, if I relaxed in between, or I lost hope in between, or I tried to play and try to not be committed regardless of the fact that I'm waiting to be ordained or not, I know God will see it. So along the line, there were a lot of things that happened. There were challenges in the church, challenges in my personal life, but I knew that I had to continue to wait on God. I had to continue to trust the Lord, because the position of being a pastor, which was my aspiration at that time, would not just come easy like that. And I knew pastors that I was serving under them, and I knew what they were facing. So at that time, I continued to do my best. It was alongside of it, I eventually relocated from Nigeria. I got married before then. All these things came in between. Yet I never lost focus. I was determined that one day, if I do not relent, if I do not lose focus, if I do not compromise, as youth at that time, there were temptations.
Right.
Yes, there were temptations along the road, temptations. There were times I was away from the community of Christians. I thank God that none of these challenges and transition made me to derail. No, I did not derail. Even though it was very, was chaotic sometimes, was used to cross. But God was faithful. Because when God sees your heart that you are faithful, God also will be faithful. If you're close, He says, if you're close to me, I will be close to you. One thing is very important. Either you are a pastor or you're not a pastor, the goal of every child of God is to make it to heaven. Yeah. So I never lost focus of that. So we thank God that all the things that happened in between, never dispirited me. No. Some were pleasant, some were not pleasant. And, along the road, I lost both of my parents, and it was very difficult at that time. But if you kept trusting God and endure to the end, you shall surely be saved. So
I really learned a lot of things from that. There's some time that you can feel that maybe this will not come through, maybe God has even forgotten you, but keep trusting in like you did. Eventually God, even you said you had to, there are a lot of things in between. You lost your parents. That is even enough to pull someone out of what you want to do, but still trusting in God for that particular thing you were expecting from Him, kept you going, and then you were able to get it at the end of the day. Thank you so much, Daddy, for sharing this with us. I really, really, really appreciate that. And I don't know if you have some last words for us before you go for today.
I just want to encourage anybody who is probably looking up to God for something. God has never failed. Never. So keep on trusting God. Your day of testimony is right there.
Thank you so much, Daddy. I'm so grateful for your presence here today and for honoring us. I do really appreciate you. I really appreciate your kind words. And from this video, I hope you have learned one or two things. So thank you so much for being part of this section. You just watch out for more videos because we still have a lot of other activities coming through. Thank you again, and see you on my next video. Bye bye.